at Rabbit River Farms in Richmond, BC, and we're a certified organic egg farm. We're also a grader. Everything we do here is cage-free, and that includes certified organic, free range, and free run. Now we have a 6,000 bird flock on this production unit, and we have approximately 12,500 square feet allocated inside the barn, and outside we have 6 acres of rangeland. We're averaging growth in excess of 20% per annum, and our main restraint on our growth is locating new producers.
I'm Ron Hamilton, owner, co-owner I guess, with my wife Sheila, and we own Sunworks Farm at Armina, Alberta. On our farm here we are certified organic, certified humane by the BCSBCA, and also certified local by Local Food Plot. We have about 2,500 egg-laying hens here on the farm. We also have grow about 150,000 broilers. We also grow about 400 to 500 beef animals, and about 400 to 500 pigs. Our egg layers are raised out of doors from about the middle of April to about the middle of October. And when I mean out of doors, they're 24/7 out of doors in our chicken shelters. We move our chicken shelters ahead every day, so the birds absolutely get their greens. They get their odd grasshopper, the odd bug down there, and dust bathe and flop their wings around in all the dust. And there's a night and day difference between what we do and what a conventional farm does.
In natural circumstances, a hen likes to move about and scratch, and a whole lot of behaviour patterns associated with feeding, and that seems to be as important to the hen as actually consuming the food. You should remember that a modern laying hen is laying about 320 eggs in a year, so it's laying an egg almost every day, and every day it goes through the same pattern of looking for a nest, and it's very strongly driven to look for a suitable nest site and to build a nest before it lays an egg. If a hen is kept in a cage, then it can't perform, or it can perform only a very little of that behavior, and it gets extremely frustrated every day.
This particular system is an aviary system. It's manufactured by a company called Vencomatic out of Holland, and it's a bow leg system. We've had very good results with it. We've got about 98.5% of our eggs are laid in the nest box. We monitor our barns during the daytime. We do about 3 barn walks and then 1 barn walk in the evening. We're always watching for a hen that may have a health issue or be in distress. And in time you learn how to recognize those hens by where they sit versus the other hens. So we actually have a lower mortality rate than caged operations because it's easier to see the behavior of a hen who's not getting enough food, not getting enough water, or might have sustained some sort of an injury.
From an environmental point of view, we're trying to grow soil. We move our laying hens ahead, so what we end up is just with a little skim of manure on top of our land. We're not heavy dosing our land with mega amounts of manure. They also do a little bit of churning there with the dust bathing. They get in there and they churn up some of the soil a little bit. So we actually have some organic matter building all the time.
Here we have a typical example of some hens that are dust bathing. It's just the natural activity of the hens that aerate and cause a breakdown and a drying out of the fecal matter. 85% of the chicken droppings occur during the resting, eating, sleeping period over the slats. The remaining 15% get dropped into the litter area, and they get worked under by the hen. On the slatted floor, you'll see that the manure drops through to basically a food-grade plastic belt. Twice a week, we run that belt and peel off all the manure. We ensure that we keep our barn environment very dry. That's the primary thing when dealing with poultry manure is good airflow and a dry barn environment.
Some farmers are making a transition from battery cages, and instead of choosing a cage-free system are building enriched cages or enriched colony cages. And this is the same structure. You know, it's a cage with a slatted floor. You have multiple birds within the system. There is a nest box in the cage, and there may be perches, and there's a scratch area, but it doesn't have a dust bathing area, and there isn't enough space for the hens to forage. So while some of the hens' behaviors are being addressed, like using the nest box for laying eggs, others are not. So the hens will still show frustration because they cannot forage and move around like they would like to do with other systems.
I've been disappointed with commercial furnished cages. The nesting area has been not properly designated, just a few flimsy curtains. There's not sufficient height to allow the birds to go up when they want to perch at night or during the day to rest, and the dust baths have been inadequate as well.
Enriched cages are still cages. Birds are still kept in a cage. They may be able to express some of their more normal activities in a cage, but they're still not allowed to walk very far. They're still going to be in a barn on a lighting program. There's still going to be ammonia challenges in the barns, no windows in the barns. They really have not changed anything other than give the birds more space.
The future is cage-free, and it's an excellent opportunity to do a transition of the format of the farm from the caged environment, which had its life cycle from the late 60s through to the late 90s, to the new way of farming, which is what consumers want and probably what your new generation of family, the lifestyle they want to live.
We do see consumers demanding the free-range, free-run egg. People always want cheap food, but there's always people that want good food. You won't go wrong by moving from a cage system to a free-run system. A little more management, a little more work, but you're not going to go wrong. People who want and humanely raised food, it's very deep in them when they want that, and they are customers for the rest of their life.